Welcome back. In this video, we're diving into how to give items and Pokemon to the player in your Pokemon ROM hack. Whether you're placing an item on the ground, giving one through an NPC, or even handing out a Pokemon, we'll cover everything you need to know to make it happen. First, we'll go over the basics, giving a single item or Pokemon from both the ground and NPCs. Then, we'll take it a step further by adding choices, so the player can pick between multiple items or Pokemon when interacting with an NPC. If you're enjoying these tutorials, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more ROM hacking tips and Pokemon Centennial updates. Let's get started. So the first step we're going to do is implement some items on the ground, both an item ball item and a hidden item. If we look into our events here, we can see we don't have any items or hidden items in Little Root Town. So we're going to actually go over to Petalburg City, where there's an example of both a item ball and a hidden item that you could find, so we can take a look at some of the examples. For the item ball ones, it's just going to be a new object, so it's just a simple type of object, and it's this sprite, the object event GFX item ball. That's what creates that item ball. The movement you're going to want to be look around. The biggest thing is this script. You want to do the common event script find item. So if we go back over into our code, we can search that up. A lot of your functions, how they'll actually work, will be on the way bottom. But basically, this is the common event script find item. It'll call a native, this get item ball ID and amount from template. It'll find that item, the variable result, and then that var. We can search this up to see what this does even more. This warning is relevant if you have movement range X. If it's any over 15, it won't work. But this is the macro that will give this. It'll show you what it all returns. But basically, it'll kind of do that all on its own for you. The next thing you'll need is this event flag. So that's going to basically say, should we re-add the ball to the screen or not? And we don't want to re-add it. We want the ball to disappear. So these are all under like flag, item, city, and then wherever the item is. So we can look in this include constants flags.h. This is all your flags. There's temporary flags at the top. There's a bunch of unused flags for other type of flags you might want to use in the game. We're going to search up that item. Here you can see, here's all of the item ball flags. There are a couple unused ones mixed in and leftovers. But if you go to the bottom here, there's a bunch of unused ones that you can use for the item flags. And then the last thing, you want trainer type none on this ball. And then the site radius and berry tree ID, that's going to be item underscore whatever your item is. So that's how item balls work. Hidden items are a lot simpler. You would just go up new hidden item. It'll be under your BGs, so like backgrounds. That, all you need is an item. You give the item name and then the flag, and it'll be a flag hidden item. So we can search up where this one is. There's a bunch of hidden items. You can see it's labeled right here, hidden items. And then we also have a bunch of unused flags for this as well. So that's where you can implement some new ones. It should work. You might need to add in these flag hidden items start, plus these in the order. And then if we go back to our flag underscore item, those work pretty good. So now that we see kind of the structure of how those two work, we can actually go back into Little Root Town and make some for ourselves. Let's make a new object. Let's do an item ball object. I'm going to place it right there, and I'm going to just search up ball, and it's item ball. Movement type none. Common events radius or none. I'm going to go back into Petalburg and just copy over this common event script, find item. Go back to my Little Root Town and make sure I save as I go. Ooh, the script is right here. It's the common event script find item. The event flag, we're going to have to make our own new flag. So back into include constants flags.h or buy our item ball flags. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. I don't want to use any of these yet. Let's see, there's an unused flag one right here. I'm going to use this first one. So it's going to be flag, item, little root, and then I want to make it a potion. So I'm going to make it that. I'm going to just line this up just to be sure. And I'm going to say little root, item, ball, potion, just so I know what it is. I'm going to copy this over. When you do save your flags.h, it's going to pop up in Pokémon and say, the file has changed. Would you like to reload the project? I don't click Do Not Ask Again because sometimes I forget. If you don't save, you made a bunch of changes without saving. But this time I made sure I saved before, so I'm going to click yes. Warning, it'll reload. Yes, it reloads. There we go. I'm going to go back to this Pokeball. My event flag is the flag item, little root potion. The trainer type was none. And in here I want it to be item underscore potion, if I can spell right. So that one worked pretty good. Now let's say I want to make a new hidden item. I can go to a hidden item, and let's say I want to place it just on this flower bed. You might not know. And I want to give an item, I want to give a rare candy. Right now the flag is flag registered Winston. We don't want that. I'm going to save quick before we do this. We're going to go back in, and I want to search up flag hidden item. So I'm under my hidden items. They start all there. We can see all this. There's none of that. I'm just going to do this under this unused flag right here. And I'm going to do flag hidden item, little root, rare candy. And I'm going to copy that. I'm going to say it's a hidden flower, rare candy in little root. Kind of whatever makes you see. We'll save again. We're going to get the same message in Pory map, but that all works. I'm going to go back to my hidden item. I'm going to paste in my new flag. So now that should work. We shouldn't be able to get the item twice or anything. Now that those two are in, we're going to go back and we're going to make our file. And this might take a little bit to run just because you updated Pory map. But once it's all run, then we can actually go in and test and see if these updates have been made to our game. So now my game has recompiled. We can go back and we can actually test out and see if this worked. I'm going to go back to my files. I'm going to go into my ROM. And we can double check and see if our two new items we put into the game are there and are working properly. We can go out the door. I'm in speed up, so it's moving faster. We can look. It says, hey, we found a potion. It put the potion away. It's not there anymore, as it shouldn't be. We can go back in a random house, and the Pokeball still shouldn't be there. We now can check. If we click on this space, there's nothing. But if we click on the flower bed, hey, we found a rare candy in the flower. That should be there. We click on it again. Nothing shows up. We can look in our bag. We now have an extra potion and a rare candy. So those item implementations worked, and that's kind of how the basics of how you'd implement an item, a new item ball or a new hidden item that you can pick up off the ground. The next thing you might want to do is have an NPC give an item, kind of like how the rival gives you Pokeballs when you get the Pokedex within Pokemon Emerald. We'll look and work on giving or having Archie give you, let's say, 10 repels or something like that within the script you made last time. But if we go back over to our code, the macro or function for this is going to be give item. You can actually go kind of scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you should be able to see there's a bunch of instances of, hey, they're giving a Pokeball case, giving this, giving waterfall. You can kind of see all the different instances of this. It kind of works fairly simple. It's just give mon, the item, the number. You can look at the macro here. It's give mon, you need the item, which is required, and the default amount is 1. So if you just say give item, it'll give 1. But if you give a number after this, it'll give you that much. So if I say give item, and I know it's item Pokeball, so this right here is where May or Brendan gives you Pokeballs after you get the Pokedex. So they just do give item, item Pokeball 5. Gives you 5 Pokeballs. A nice thing to know, they do have this call if equal var result is false. So this is basically saying within the give item, does do a check on if your bag's full. This is saying if the bag is full, call this script. We can look at that script. It says, oh, put this message box, your bag is full. The message says, oh, your bag's full. And then it won't give you the item. You can come back when your bag is not full anymore. We can come back to that. But it is pretty simple of you give the number. So if we go back into our Archie script, he says, I'm Team Aqua Leader Archie, and I proclaim this hill is mine. We're going to just give another message box. We're going to format it again. We're going to say, here's 10 repels for fun. Next thing we do is we do give item. In Pokémon, you wrap all the macros or functions within parentheses. We want to say item repel, and we want to give 10 of them. Give item repel 10. Whenever we talk to him, he should give us that. So we can make this file again. It should run quick since we didn't make any changes to Pokémon. It's kind of typically how it works. If you make graphical changes, the make will take longer. Maybe I spoke too soon. Okay, here we go, and we're done. We can go back into, there we go, back into our ROM. We can open it up. And we can go see if Archie will give us some 10 repels or not. You can see right now we have no repels in our bag, just the one potion. We're going to go talk to Archie. And he says, I'm stuff we put in last time. And then, hey, here's 10 repels for fun. Obtain 10 repels. We look. Yeah, we have 10 repels. We can talk to him again, get 10 more repels. If you want this to stop, you can add one of those temporary flags from the flags that age kind of way at the top. And we'll go later when we give a Pokemon, but you can show how you use the temporary flags to be able to only get it once. If you want the option to always give it, you can just always give the script like that. Shouldn't matter too much. But that's how you give items from an NPC. It's pretty simple. It's just give item, the item name, and the number, or the amount of items you want to give. So that's fairly simple there. Now let's say we want an NPC, or I guess an item ball on the ground, to give you a Pokemon. In this scenario, we're going to have this little running kid give us a shiny Rayquaza, just for fun. Why not? Shiny Rayquaza is pretty cool, one of my favorite shinies. So we can actually go back in. It's going to be pretty simple. It's the macro here is give mon. You can see, given the cast form, they do give mon, the species, the level, and an item. If we look and open up the actual macro, you can see the species is required, the level is required. Then you can do item. You can say what ball it's in. You can say the nature, the ability number, so that's their first one, second one, third one. The gender. You can specify all the EVs, all the IVs. You can specify what moves it has. You can say, is it shiny, true or false, the Gigantamax factor, the Terra type. You can do all that within giving a mon. And here they just say, hey, we're going to give cast form level 25 with this item. And then they have, if it's given to the mon, you want this. If it was given to the PC, there's that. Just different functions. Right here within this, you can see you receive cast form, there's fanfare and all that. This is, do you want a nickname? That's a yes or no box. If no, just go to the next thing. If yes, it'll do that. Then you can call. That's how just kind of more how you receive it. So we can go, you can search into this a bit more if you want. We'll go back into this running kid. And I actually have some stuff I already have already. But I want to say, hey, we have this message box. Hey, here's a fun Pokemon. We're going to do Givemon. The species is Rayquaza. Level 50, just for fun. Let's give a Master Ball with it. And then you can use a kind of an argument here that is shiny equals true. It's not in line, but you have the named argument, so that'll also work. So is shiny equals true. You could just leave it at this. Not a lot would happen. You'd just give the Pokemon. It wouldn't say, hey, you received this Pokemon. You would just get through all the script, and then you'd look into your party, and Rayquaza would be there. What I really want to do is also add this other text, which I will have already written down. It's kind of a lot. So we're going to have it play the fanfare music of we tamed an item. That's just kind of copy and paste from this cast form event. Message is player, receive the Rayquaza. We're going to wait for the message to be done, wait for the fanfare to be done. This buffer species name basically says, hey, we're going to put whatever species name of this is into this string variable 1. And then it'll say this comment text, do you want to nickname this Pokemon? Yes or no. You can nickname it if you want. And then it'll call the common event script to give gift party slot. Because we're just going to give it to the party right now. You can do stuff if you give it to the PC or that. You can kind of look into this cast form thing to see how that's handled. And then we're going to call his name receive partymon. So that's if we said yes. So all of that works. You can kind of work with that. That's within this yes, no. It'll name it, do all of that. So this will work. We can get this right now. Might be a little tricky if you want to not be able to get the Pokemon once you've already got it. So this is where you might need some extra flags to be set up. In this case, I want to do if we don't have a flag. So you can make it as if, let's say, not flag, and then I want to be flag underscore little root give Rayquaza. So if this flag is not set, I want all of this to go in there. If that flag's not set, I want all of that to happen. Please make these lined up. You should just tab space over. Those are all ready. I'm calling all those scripts. And then after we give this, I want to set the flag. And I want to set this flag that we got so then we can't get the Rayquaza again. So we have all of those. We have this flag. We need to actually create this flag. So I'm going to go all the way to the top of this include constants flags. This first unused, I'm going to say here's my flag. And this is going to be, I'm just going to say it's the running kid gives shiny Rayquaza. This is going to save. Yes, I want to include those. Yes, that's fine. I'm going to go back. This all should work. We should get a shiny Rayquaza from him. We're going to remake the file. It should run fairly quick again since we didn't make any map changes within Porimap. But then we should be able to go in and test to see if this little running kid will give us a shiny Rayquaza or not. So our code is run. We're going to go into our ROM and see if this kid will give us a level 50 shiny Rayquaza and see if he'll give it to us twice or not. He shouldn't. But we can see with that. We'll walk over. You don't need that. Let's talk to him. I love running. It's so much fun. We still forgot to put in the period. But then, hey, here's a fun Pokemon. We received Rayquaza. Do we want to nickname it? Yeah, we can nickname it if we want. I'm just going to leave it blank. And then we can go in. Hey, look. Level 50 shiny Rayquaza with the Master Ball that we put in. You can see that's his moves that we get on the moveset. A cool tip is within this latest run of the Poke Emerald, you can actually relearn moves. If you get on this move screen, you hit start, it'll take you basically to a move tutor, and you can relearn whatever moves you want that it like already should know. So you kind of don't need heart skills in this. It's kind of nice. We can go back and let's make sure. Let's talk to this kid again. He was running. It's so much fun, and he stops. He's not going to try to give us another Rayquaza. So there we go. We got a nice level 50 shiny Rayquaza. That works kind of cool. You could do the same thing within like an item ball script. It's just anything that would be in a event script type thing. So I could change this event script running kid, and you could put it on another random like Pokeball for the script, not this one, but a different one, and it would do basically the same format, the same setup. So that's how you can just give a Pokemon. It's fairly easy. If you don't want any fanfare, you can use givemon, species, level, do whatever. If you want to give all this other fanfare, you can set stuff up. I highly recommend looking at this Route 19 Weather Institute, the whole give cast form, because that's the big gift Pokemon in Pokemon Emerald. You can see if the mon is given to party, if it was given to the PC, they go to different scripts. So I just did a given to the party one. If you go to this given to PC one, we can look and, okay, it says, do you want a nickname? If not, just send it to the PC, name the Boxmon, you know what to name it to your party. So it's pretty simple. If you have any questions, you can ask more, or just kind of look at what has been done in the code already. That's typically what I do. It typically helps a lot. The last thing I want to do is look on to see how multi-choice options work. Multi-choice options are scenarios where different NPCs ask you if you want 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, whatever amount of things to choose between one of those things. A good example of this is actually in the trick house of when they're asking you, hey, what are these correct answers like? So I'm going to go back, look at this text, and it says, hey, which one of these Pokemon is not found on Route 110? The way we do this is with these multi-choice items. It's going to be multi-choice, x-coordinate, first x-coordinate of the drop-down box, the second x-coordinate, the multi-choice ID, and then if the B button should not exit out or not. So this is true. This is saying B button. We can't just click the B button. It backs out of the whole menu. The big thing is these multi-choice IDs. If we search up this multi-mech, you're going to see first we have it here in this script or include constants script.h. There's going to be, hey, here's where we define all of them. If you want to add new ones, you add them to the end. Before it started this berry plot, I'm adding these Kanto starters that we're going to add in a little bit. Added that one to the end there. Then we look into this source data script underscore menu.h. Within this multi-choice list is where everything is going to live. This is where all your definitions are. So this says the multi-choice, it equals that. We can take a look at what this means. This is going to be where we actually define our things. So if we control F that, go up to there. In this static construct, menu action, and then the multi-choice list, this is going to actually be what our three choices are. It'll always go choice case 0, case 1, case 2, and so on. If you want just a string, you do wrap it in a compound string. If you want to use a preconceived string, which they are also wrapped in compound strings, you can look at the strings at H, and it'll be these G text underscore whatevers. Right now, we're just going to deal into this. You can look into adding these if you want later. But we're going to go back to here. If you want to add a new one, you can just add at the bottom. Here's this multi-Kanto starter one that I added. We can take a look. This one, we're going to say it's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Again, it's going to be case. This will be case 0. This will be case 1. And this will be case 2. So that's a good thing to know of how all of those work. If we go back into our Pori map, you can see I added this little old man. Basically doing nothing, where he's just facing down. And we want to say, is this event script, the Little Root Town event script, Kanto starter. So I'm going to go back into my scripts.pori. I have this set up here, the Kanto starter event. First, we're going to lock the player. This face player just says, hey, whatever object you have, it's going to turn toward the player. Then we're going to give a message box. You can do the format in 2 lines. We're going to say, hey, do you want a new Kanto starter, or do you want a Kanto starter? We're going to do a whole new line. Which one do you want? Then we're going to pull up this multi-choice. This will give us the options that we can choose from. So we're going to do multi-choice. We're going to just start it in the way top left, so at 0, 0. It's pretty easy. You can move stuff around if you want. But then our multi-choice ID is this multi-Kanto starters we created here and created within there. So that does the multiple choice list. Next, to do what we actually want, we can do switch and then the variable and then the variable result. So that says based on what the result of this multi-choice list is, we're going to do what. So with case 0, which is our first one, we saw here case 0, that's Bulbasaur. We should give Mon Bulbasaur like we did before, give all of that. Technically, if your answer is no to this, you should have this separate. As you can see in this Weather Institute, if it's no, you should go to explain the cast form, and it just goes straight to something else. That's something you can add later. Look into it more. But for case 0, I don't want to move that around. Case 0, we're going to give Bulbasaur Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur. A lot of this is just reusing the Rayquaza stuff that we did right there as well. Case 1, we're going to give Charmander, do all the same things. Case 2, give Squirtle, do everything. Then we got to give it default. If we get to this default, something should went wrong, because we only should have case 0, 1, and 2. But with all that, you should, and then obviously we're going to release all at the end for this script. If you want to wrap everything in kind of the if statement with the flags, which probably a good idea, you only want to give out one thing. You can create a new flag and do this. I'm not going to do that just for time's sake. But we have all this here. We should be able to look into it. One thing to note, if you are looking to be a starter Pokemon, you need to set this flag, the set flag sys Pokemon get, before you actually get the Pokemon. So this is actually within the Birch's Bag script. To actually get your normal starter, they set the flag. It'll do all that, and then the special choose starter is how you actually choose the starter, go into the battle. But if you want these to be your first Pokemon, you'll have to use this set flag within, kind of before. So if we'd want that, we'd want to put this set flag maybe above our multi-choice, or basically before we do any of the switch stuff. You wouldn't necessarily want it in all the switches because we just want to set the flag right away. So you'd probably do the set flag here, and then flag whatever the flag is. But we're not going to do that. We don't need that. I already have Pokemon in my ROM. Did the normal starter stuff here. But here we should be able to get the Kanto starters. We have all this. Make sure it's saved. He has no trainer thing. Should be all good. We're going to do a make, and I will get back to you, and then we can go test out our Kanto starter mods. Alright, and all the changes are compiled, and we can go ahead and test out our Kanto starter mod and see if we can get Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, or kind of either one of them. We'll go into our thing. As you can see, we don't have anything yet. We have our Trico. Let's say we want to get a Charmander. Hey, do you want a Kanto starter? Which one do you want? Popped up 0, 0 in the left corner. Let's say we want Charmander. Hey, we received the Charmander. Do we want to nickname him? I'm going to say no. This popped up. This is why you should put another script to handle if we say no. I'm just going to go by, and we can go ahead and, hey, now we have a Charmander too. We have a Charmander, and we have a Trico. We have all of those. Perfect. So that worked with getting our starter Pokemon. Again, if you wanted to have it actually be your starter Pokemon, you need to set this flag there, and you can do all that. But yeah, if you have any questions or any other tutorials you want, leave a comment down there, see what you want to go, and we can make whatever videos you want. Have a nice day.